Why doesn't my M34 wife F34 think this is cheating? I caught my wife of 10 years. We've been together since we were 17, sending nudes and sexting to someone else. I even confronted her about it 3 times and she lied all 3 times. Till I logged onto her Snapchat and saw in real time her sexting the guy. Then through some more investigation I find out, she was sending flirty texts and images to a guy she met on a work trip and also a work colleague. I'm just lost and broken and she's making me feel like I'm insane for being upset about this. She said if it was the other way around she'd think I'd want to add someone into the relationship. We have never been anything but monogamous. I don't know, I'm just completely and utterly lost. Why wouldn't this be considered cheating? This is textbook cheating, especially since she is doing it behind your back. You need to get out of there ASAP. It's not going to get fixed. Why wouldn't this be considered cheating? She's lying about not considering it cheating because she wants to get away with it. Wow, she's really good at manipulating you. It is cheating. All the why. Save evidence and divorce. Why doesn't my wife, who killed a guy, admit that she's a murderer? I confronted her like 3 times. She knows it's cheating and looked for an insane excuse so you feel like you're tripping. Brother, she's gaslighting the fuck out of you and it looks like she's successful, too. To your knowledge, she hasn't physically cheated, but she's been cheating the entire time. Sexting and sending nudes when you both agreed to remain monogamous to one another is called cheating. She's just saying it isn't because she knows what's at stake. Hate to say it but fire up those divorce papers. I 26M looked through my now ex-girlfriend 23F phone after she got home after a night out. Hello all, I would like some advice and hear some thoughts from people who are unbiased. So for a while now my ex-girlfriend, of 5 years, and I have had a bit of a rough patch. She has clearly been unhappy but I've not been able to get anything out of her when confronting her with it. She has been spending more and more time with her friends during the weekends and also going out more. And then comes this weekend. She was out with her friends and I didn't think much of it. Her friend was going to drive her home so I eventually sent her a good night text telling her that my sound is in if she needs me. I wake up at around 3:30 a.m. I call her and it goes straight to voicemail. So I send her friend who is supposed to pick her up a text to see if she picked her up. She answers rather quickly with a photograph of them and says she'll bring her home soon. I fall asleep again and wake up around 7 a.m. and not long after she comes in and lays down in the bed. I think I fell asleep shortly and then I woke up. I see her phone laying very open and decide to open it and check it. I just had a bad gut feeling. When I open I find 3 things that really disturbed me and I will list them below with her explanation to them, because I woke her up by telling her it's over as soon as I had read it. 1. Multiple text of her to a few of her friends saying she was going to dump me, said consistently the last few weeks. She explained this that she hadn't been sure and therefore she didn't do it. She thinks I'm the best man she'll ever get, but she's been unhappy. My rebuttal was that she hasn't done it because she's dependent on me and she needed to use me as a bridge before she could leave me for someone else. 2. One text to her best friend saying that, I'll keep him till the summer so I can use him to pay for my gym membership. Due to her studying I said I would pay for it. She told me that this was just a bad joke, which I think it might have been. But it still shows in what light she shows me to her friends if this is the kind of jokes she does about me. A good joke need a sprinkle of truth. 3. This is the big one. I found texts of her talking about a guy she met out to her best friend. She was saying that he wanted her to follow him to his place and that she couldn't because she had to break up with me before doing anything. Sending his Instagram, where her friend said, oh he's not good looking, and she said that it was just a bad picture. I can't remember it all, it's a bit off a blur, I could barely read it. But the last part one will not be able to shake off. She said, I hugged him goodbye now, it tingled in my pussy like never before. Craziest feeling. When confronted she said that she was just looking for validation. But she sat with him for multiple hours even after her friends went to a different pub. And well, the last part she won't even comment on. She is officially moving out. I started packing her stuff that day and by now most of it is out. We've had long talks about it and she's made it clear that she wants me back at any cost. But she wants to be separate for a time to work on herself and her communication issues, our main issue. I feel like I need to break it with her and really figure out if this is something I want to give another chance, and also am I able to forgive her for what I would almost classify as cheating. She opened her heart to another man in my eyes. I would just want to hear what people who have no idea who I am would think of the situation. Would you classify what she did as cheating? Is it worth pursuing something with someone who can't even let me in, because she seems incapable of confrontation and true honesty? What would be your advice to me in this situation? It's weird that once all cards were on the table we actually felt close for the first time in a long time, and I had missed that. But I had to go through her phone to find all of that out, that she thought of dumping me etc. Sorry it was this long, I tried to keep it short but wasn't able to. I have my own flaws and the main thing I've done wrong is that I haven't been able to lift her up and made her feel beautiful. I tell her sometimes, but not enough. I'm bad at planning dates etc. Thanks for reading, if you against all odds did. Much love. Edit 1. Wow, this was way more responses than I expected. I've read through them all and felt there was some clearing up to do. First off, this is not a break. I've been clear with her that we are broken up. She however as of yesterday wanted to get back with me, so she said she was going to work on herself etc. And to this my response was, when you say that it sounds like you aim to work on yourself to make this relationship work. What you really need to so is ask yourself, do I really want to be in this relationship? Due to her going around saying that she was going to break up with me for a while. So yes, she might treat this as a break. I posted this thread to get some insights and advice from people wiser than me and things to think about until she inevitably shows up at my door again. And of course to help me get through it. I appreciate all the answers and different viewpoints so far. And of course everything is more nuanced than what I can explain in a Reddit thread on my second language. But some stuff doesn't need nuance, it's clear as day. Her stuff is out of the apartment as of earlier today. We'll keep you all updated, thanks for all the responses. She wants you as an ATM. Dude, this girl is poison. Let her live her life and you live yours but not together. Find a girl that really likes, cares and supports you and be happy with her. All the best. If the roles were reversed you would be an animal. Take some time and find someone who truly cares about you. The way she speaks to her friends about you is reason alone to let her go. The cheating is just the cherry on the top. The rotten cherry. Why are you ever considering giving another chance? And all cards weren't on the table. She didn't even comment on the last part concerning her reignited pussy tingling. So that tells me she's craving the other guy. You need to let this one go I think. Do not live in hope that she will change and suddenly be the one for you. Go on with your life and once you have a taste again how good other people or even a love interest can treat you, you won't give her a second thought. Stay strong and single for now until you've processed this betrayal. Good luck. But she wants to be separate for a time to work on herself and her communication issues, our main issue. This is absolutely not what she wants to be separate for a time for mate. She wants to move out and separate to better herself. Meaning, she wants to go and have sex with this guy or others to see if she can find something better and leave you as a backup. My advice is to just break up and go no contact. Update me. Mike, 29 female, boss, best friends, 45 female, only son, 22 male, passed last week. I am pregnant with her son? I'm having mixed emotions in this whole situation. I feel like a traitor, like I stabbed her in the back for sleeping with her son. At the same time I really cared about him and I loved him. I wanted a family with him and we were seeing each other for about 9 months, officially, already. I've known her for a little over 2 years and she's helped me get on my feet. I work for her business and I now manage all the employees. I started off living in my car and she gave me a place to stay while I made some money to find an apartment. After that she started giving me more work and even started giving me some work at her home. She trusts me completely and I guess I broke that trust by seeing her son without her permission. I have mixed feelings because I did things the wrong way, but at the same time I treated her son like a king and I know he was happy with me before he left. She has no idea about our relationship we had and we were gonna tell her, but life took a bad turn. I know he left before his time because he had many great things coming and now I have to raise our child with him absent. When is the right time for me to go tell her the truth and that she's going to be a grandmother? I love her and I don't want this to hurt her more. Too long did not read. My best friend's son passed away in an accident. I was secretly seeing him and I am having his baby in a couple of months. Edit. I forgot to clear things up. She knows I am pregnant, she just doesn't know who the father is. These comments really aren't super helpful. If I could trade my life for his I would. I'm only willing to live on for my baby now but I have nothing else for me. I'm sorry for your loss, and for hers, and for your child who will grow up without its father. Her son was old enough to make his own life choices without his mom's permission. However, it is kind of messy to secretly date your boss's child. I would tell her that you lied to her about not knowing who the baby's father was because you were scared about her reaction, and you need to apologize for that. Tell her that you would be glad to give her some space and time to process, and that you're hoping that she will eventually be excited to be a grandmother, even though it's a lot to process right now. Wow, this is a heck of a situation and I'm sorry for your loss, honestly. I'm not sure what the root problem was for her, she clearly respected and cared for both her child and you. Logically, I would think that she would be relieved and happy to have a grandchild from her recently lost son, but I don't know all the details here. You might as well let her know now, assuming you're far enough along in the pregnancy to communicate that. Ideally, the two of you can work as a team as I'm sure that's what her son would have wanted. I don't think you did anything wrong. She might be upset she didn't know about the relationship. But I would like to believe she is going to be happy for her grandchild. It's like it was meant to happen, so part of him is still living on. I'd tell her soon. Let her have time to process the situation so she is ready for it by the time the baby comes. She has every right to know her grandbaby, especially considering her son has passed away and this is her last connection to him. Make sure when you confront her that you bring proof. Any photos you had, the stuff you left at your place, screenshots of text, and the ability to show her the text. Lastly, you need to tell her that you understand if she doesn't believe you and offer a prenatal DNA test against her DNA to prove that it's his child. Hi, I don't fully know your situation, so I'm not sure if you originally asked for permission, didn't get it, then snuck around, but either way, she's lost her son, and you've lost the person you were in love with, the father of your baby. I cannot imagine how you're both feeling. But I'd like to think that having lost him, knowing that half of him is growing inside you and she'll get to meet his child that she's most likely grieving never happened will make her happy. Even if she's angry at first, grief is strange and makes you react in odd ways. But I am truly hopeful for you that she'll be grateful to see parts of her boy in your son. I'm so sorry to both of you. My F27 husband, M31, called me a miserable, insufferable person, and it broke me. For context, I have most of my life been a happy person. A couple of years ago, my friend group had a huge falling out from which I never really recovered and do not have very many friends. Because of this, I felt so lonely at times. I've told my husband this from time to time, and he's never really said anything about it but has thrown it back at me when we've gotten into arguments. About 5 months ago, we moved to San Diego for work. I have no friends here, and my isolation has gotten worse. Paired with a really stressful work situation, I felt as if I may have fallen into a depression. Tonight, my husband called me after work to ask me how it went. I started ranting about my work situation, to which my husband responded nothing. I became upset and asked, "What do you think I should do about this?" To which he responded, "I don't really know, I don't know what it's like to work there." This made me sad and angry, as I was really just looking for any support. I changed the subject, and when I arrive home he tells me, for the rest of the night, you can only speak about things positively. Later in the evening, he sparks a random debate about AI. I work in AI, husband works in construction. When I begin offering my perspective, my husband starts yelling at me that I have no idea what I'm talking about and that I need to read the book that he's reading. I get upset, and tell him I know what I'm talking about as it's quite literally my job, and open my laptop to show him my work. He then starts screaming at me that I am a miserable, insufferable, pretentious person. Admittedly, I'm mad at first and start yelling back, but then I remember how he asked me to only speak positively. I ask him to apologize to me and he says, "No. I can't apologize because that's how I really feel." I give him multiple opportunities to say that it's not true and that even if he feels that way he should apologize for hurting me. He still refuses, stating that those were his true feelings. I begin to sob, and beg him to please say sorry to me. He stares at me blankly and says, "No." I begin to break down, and sob uncontrollably. These words hurt me so much because he admitted how I've been feeling about myself for the past 2 years. I call my parents, feeling like I had no one left to turn to for support, and cry about my loneliness and my internalized worthlessness and how it's making me a miserable person and I'm making everyone around me miserable. Shocked, they ask what triggered all of this. I stupidly told them what my husband said to me. They comfort me, tell me that he didn't mean it, and I just cry for a little longer before we hang up. My husband overheard me talking to my parents, and now he won't speak to me or sleep in the same bed as me. I have no idea what to do. I feel like I totally ruined my marriage and I'm having a panic attack. We've only been married for a year and I feel like I just destroyed my whole marriage. Someone who really loved you would try to uplift you while you're in this state, not kick you while you're down. It can be hard when a partner is excessively negative, but it's important to discuss them, not start screaming and putting the other person down. And seriously, he stayed stone-faced to you sobbing and begging for relief? I think therapy would help a lot, but do it for your sake. You're not the person who ruined this marriage. It was already ruined when he started treating you like a bratty child. I'm sorry, but your husband is a shithead. I would never marry someone so cruel. I hope you can find a community again. I was willing to give him the benefit of the doubt until he mansplained your own job to you, then insisted you didn't know what you were talking about because he read one book on the topic. I think he's just a dick, and being married to a dick can't be helping with your depression. If your unhappiness had been going on for years, it's time to seek help. This is chronic depression and it's impacting the rest of your life. Your husband is a mansplaining dipshit with no partnership skills. Later in the evening, he sparks a random debate about AI. I work in AI, husband works in construction. That kind of education gap doesn't bode well. Miserable, insufferable, pretentious person. Doubly so when the dude is clearly insecure AF. I'm so sorry. You're having a hard time right now. I would make it a priority to see a therapist. Don't worry about couples therapy yet. Take a step back and give your spouse space. Focus on you. Start a journal and dump all you want into it. I'm not sure what happened with your old friend group, but it's time to start baby-stepping your way into new friendships. Volunteer. Start a new hobby. Exercise. You'll find someone. You're only 27. Now's the time to grab your life by the horns. Make 2025 the best year yet. You can do it. Hugs.